Thank you very much, Felisa. A very good morning to you. Yes, I am out and about, and it's good to be here in the beautiful sunshine and a rather chilly wind, I might just add, in the city of Ekurhuleni, which is hosting the 107th edition of the South African Open. It's the second oldest national golf championship. With me, I've got the defending champion, Graham Storm, as well as a former Masters champion, Charles Schwartzel. Both of these gentlemen taking part in the tournament, which gets underway on Thursday, as well as this morning's Pro-Am there in the morning tee off. Good morning to the both of you. Thank you so much for chatting to Morning Live. Charles, I'm going to start with you. Good to be back here because it's a return after a couple of years for you to the SA Open.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Glendale is just down the road from where I grew up, and it's a golf course I really like. Came really close a couple of years ago. It still hurts a little bit, but time to make some new memories.
Well, you're standing next to a man that also had to win it by a playoff. He didn't have to have the heartbreak, though. I'm sure you're not going to want it to go that close this year. Good morning to you, Graham.
Good morning. Yeah, hopefully I can try and repeat the performance that I did last year. Obviously, playing in a playoff against Rory McIlroy kind of catapulted myself as an individual player, and I'm looking forward to defending this week.
Charles, what's so special about the South African Open? We know all the history behind it, and this year we have a very, very strong local contingent.
Yeah, it's nice to see that the local guys have come back. The tournament's obviously just history takes a long time to create, and coming back from Bobby Locke's time through Gary Player, Ernie's won it a few times. I think for a South African, being your national Open really would mean a lot on your CV, and the city of Ekurhuleni has really done a great job with BMW to make this tournament back to a great statue, and I really hope that the weather plays along this week, because the course is in fantastic condition, and if we can have some good weather, we might get a few people come out to watch. It'll be a great event.
It certainly will be. You had the advantage of amazing crowds last year. The massive draw card obviously being Rory McIlroy, and then a fascinating final day's play where it came down to the playoff. And to think that you had nearly lost your European Tour card. This year it's a little bit different. How did that experience of last year kind of set you up for the year that followed, and also going into 2018?
Yeah, it helped me massively. When you nearly lose your tour card, which is your job really, you're kind of looking at it from a point of view of, well, where's that going to leave me? And I kind of just had to go back to the drawing board and start all over again. And I was fortunate enough to get a reprieve to keep my card and not have to go to the European Tour School. And then it just kind of made life a little bit easier in the fact that I knew that I'd saved my job in a way, and that I had a second opportunity, and I just started enjoying my golf again, and it just went from there really. And I've really enjoyed the fact that the way I played last year, and hope to try and emulate it this season.
I think it's got something to do with the special South African soil that you were playing on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've always loved coming down to South Africa. I've been coming down here since I think 2001. The people are great. They look after you really, really well, and I enjoy the golf courses and obviously the beautiful weather with no snow down here.
2018, coming from a year where you ended third at the Masters. What are your goals for this year? Obviously, you'd love to win your National Open. Other goals for the year ahead?
Being able to play in all four majors, you're always really high up on the list to see if you can win another major. It's the ultimate in our sport. So all our preparation and practice goes in to see if you can peak in any of those weeks. But just winning golf tournaments in a year is always a great achievement, and something that you judge your year on. So try and win some golf tournaments, and also just improve on the world ranking would be great.
Brandon Stone, the last South African champion, he is back. He's playing with Tifgerson, Charles Schwartzel. We've got a really good South African contingent. Are you a little bit worried about them? Because unlike last year's crowds, there's a much more patriotic voice that you're going to be hearing this year.
That's the chill. Yeah, I mean, it's just fantastic that they're here to support the National Open, and it's great to see them all here playing, and getting to compete against the likes of Charles, Retief, Ernie, to name a few, Brandon Grace. is fantastic for me. And you know, if I can put up a good defence against these guys, then I've done well this week.
After the disappointment, like you said, in 2015, you're returning this year. I have seen the tournament kind of grow in public consciousness and grow in, obviously it's got all the history behind it, but it seems that South Africans are starting to take much more ownership of the South African Open. What's your feel coming back to the tournament?
Yeah, even in 2015 I thought the tournament is really starting to improve, and I think Ernie's, by putting his name to it, Ernie with his foundation, they've done it's been a good step for the tournament. You know, and he's got obviously a lot of passion for this tournament. And then, you know, he really tries to invite and get the guys to come over. Last year, obviously, he got Rory to come, which was a massive step for this golf tournament. And, you know, this year looks again like it's going to be a really good one. You know, everyone I've spoken to that's been here and that's still to come, you know, always talk very highly about it. So it's good to hear. And for us, like for myself as a South African, I always love playing in this golf tournament.
You say Glendower is a golf course that you know well. Can you give us any secrets or the best way to play this golf course without speaking too loud?
Yeah, I can't talk in front of Graham, but maybe he can give me some. He found the secret. I haven't quite found it yet, but yeah, the course is tough. I played yesterday. The rough is up, and you know, it's one of those courses where it tests every part of your game. You need to drive it straight. You need to think well. And then most important, you need to putt well.
What is the secret to playing Glendower?
I think Charles absolutely right. You know, you got to keep the ball in play. I have a totally different game to Charles. Charles hits it a long way, I don't. So we have to play the course slightly differently. But most of all, yeah, keep the ball in play and putt well.
We wish both of you gentlemen all the best of luck. Thank you so much for chatting to us on Morning Live. And Charles, all the best of luck. Any message from yourself to the other South Africans?
No, I mean, we, you know, the guys need to really see if we can keep this trophy in South African soil.
Said like a proudly South African sportsman. Thank you, gentlemen. Both enjoy the play today and good luck for the tournament. Charles Schwartzel, former Masters champion and a man that came oh so close to winning the South African Open in 2015, and the defending champion Graham Storm. Thank you to both of them for chatting to us on Morning Live. We are going to be bringing you more from the BMW South African Open a little bit later on. We're going to be chatting to somebody from the Sunshine Tour. Of course, it is a co-sanctioned event between the Sunshine Tour and the European Tour. And we're also going to be chatting to the acting executive mayor of the city of Ekurhuleni. All that coming up on Morning Live, but it's back to the studio.